a business owners come to you as the professional, they're not looking to hear like, well, maybe you might think about this, or would you like me to quote an umbrella versus looking at your account, you need to have an umbrella and I'm going to quote that for you.
Confidence is built over time. Just because you're not there today doesn't mean you won't be there tomorrow or in a month or a year.
Hello, everybody. We are live and in charge doing confident-like things today because today we did our first hard market hero on building confidence on how to talk about rate. And I got to say, as I was building this, it could be one of my faves. And the reason I think it's one of my favorites because there's so many skills that can be taken outside of a hard market, whether it's cross-selling, whether it's just talking to a client. I'm excited to talk a little bit and recap today on how we become confident in a hard market. But first of all, let's do, where are we all? Because you can't see with our background, so nobody knows where anybody is. I could be in Bora Bora on one of those ocean hut things.
You want to be in Bora Bora.
Yeah, there's like dolphins flipping beside me and I could be there. If I was in Bora Bora, I wouldn't have this background. I'm not going to lie. I would have the full...
I was going to say, I'm going to ask you to take your virtual background off if that's the case.
Yeah. No, but you would see Newfoundland, Canada. That's where I am. I am in Newfoundland, Canada at Munn Insurance, a Canadian broker of the year. Having a great time. So I'm an hour and a half ahead of East Coast time. So right now it's 4:30 on the East Coast. It is 6 o'clock here. And I got to say, ladies, this is my time zone, I think. Like, because I'm such an early morning person. Like, I feel great. I'm going to go have early bird dinner special. Like, after this, we go to dinner and it's like 5 o'clock. It's a perfect time for me to eat. The whole thing works out. Just need to move to Newfoundland.
It does sound like it's perfect. Sounds like a great place to be. I just don't think I want to be there in the winter.
Well, here's the great news. It's not like people think like Ireland is like on the same trajectory, but because it's so coastal, it's like insulated a little bit. So it does snow, but the days are much longer up here. So in the summer, the days are longer and the winter's a lot shorter, like Alaska, like they have like 2 hours of sun. So it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm in North Carolina where it is sunny for the first time since Thursday, I think. And the temperature, it's not too hot, not too cold. So it's probably, I think the high was 76 today, so it's nice and bright and sunny today. So.
Oh, that is the fun part. I'm struggling here to figure out Fahrenheit versus Celsius. I will not lie. I've been in Canada since Monday and I cannot get the room temperature correct. And I've asked all my Canadian friends like what the trick is. Apparently it's like double it and add some number, but I'm still just going totally by guess.
Yeah, I lived in a country like that for 12 years trying to figure that out. It was rough.
But then I have to remember that we're the weirdos. Like, we created our own system and we just didn't accept everybody else's.
Yep.
I don't know how, like, breaking away from Britain, like, no, we're going to have feet. We're not going to have centimeters. We're not going to have liters. Although it is really cool. You go to the gas station and you're like, gas is so cheap. Oh, wait, no, I have to convert this to liters.
I am in Knoxville in my home office today in East Tennessee, and it is beautiful and a sunny spring day.
Awesome. All right. Well, we had our first hard market heroes on building confidence today. So I'd love to hear from you guys what some of the feedback was, what some of the questions that came in, and maybe we can kind of discuss them here.
I think people kind of forget that our inner self-talk and how we talk to ourselves affects our confidence and how we are with our clients. I think sometimes we worry so much about our clients, we forget to respect our time and build our own confidence because we did take a test. We're licensed insurance agents. So we have those skills. And I think sometimes people forget about those because they're so into all the stuff that's coming in. They forget to have that positive self-talk. How about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I think today was like a really amazing session. I felt that there was a lot of energy. And I think that the feedback really was, you're right, Therese, like we get down on ourselves a lot of times and we become our own worst enemy. I think we have to remember to pump ourselves up and really just smile and have a great attitude and go into each conversation in a positive way.
We did have this one comment. She said, "Did your agency look at my Facebook and get upset so you non-renewed me and quoted increase over $1,000?" And their comment was, "No, ma'am, you had a total fire loss. This has been my favorite pointed finger to date." Can you imagine? Did you guys look at my Facebook and raise my rate?
What did she do on her Facebook? Like, now I kind of want to go like check it all out. I did hear one the other day as I was doing like a live session of this, and they're like, my rates went up because the agency owner's on vacation all the time. It's like, no, that's not exactly how it works, but that would be great.
Another one said that with the beginning, the caller said, "I'm calling my lawyer." And then in the afternoon or in the later on in the call, they said, "Can I bring you a iced coffee?"
Can I bring you a nice coffee? Well, you can always bring someone a nice coffee. It tends to go very well when you do those kind of things, right?
And that has to do with, when you answer the call, the client can be upset. You need to turn that call from that crazy upsetness to calm and, "Hey, I'm here. I'm your hero, and I am going to fix that for you."
A lot of times people allow themselves to feel a little bit discouraged by a bad call or maybe something that didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. It derails them a little bit, but they forget to celebrate all the great calls that they had before that call and all the great calls that they had after that call. And they allow that negative interaction to take over. And we have to remember to just learn to shake that off.
I think another key, and I want to hear what everybody's favorite slide is, because I know I have my favorite slide. My favorite slide is the rate is not the boss of you slide with Beyonce. Because it's like, guys, everybody gets so worked up. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But the rate is the rate. Starbucks charges $8 for a cup of coffee. We charge X for insurance. We don't even have control over what we charge. I think that there's a difference between a premium increase and a rate increase. And premium increase is congratulations, you got a new car. Congratulations, you grew your business. That's a premium increase. That's going to happen every year if you're doing things right. The rate increase is the one that we have to focus on. But I just love that idea. Like, I'm not going to let rate be the boss of me today. And having that empowerment to have people come in with that mentality is so huge.
So you mentioned Starbucks. I have to say, I got a tea this morning, and you can't see it because of the background, but I've actually refilled this same tea 6 times.
So what you're saying is you're fully hydrated.
I am fully hydrated. So we have to use our stuff, use things wisely and think through stuff. So my favorite side is building confidence and working with carriers. Oh, sorry. That's the title of it. So when a client calls us, it's a blessing in workload. Basically, we need to look at those phone calls as positives. And when the phone rings, yay, somebody's calling. Thank you for calling Agency Performance Partners. This is Treats. How can I make this the best call of your day? Be excited about that, because they're not calling your competition. They're calling you.
Well, and I really love being reactive as opposed to being responsive, and the difference between the two. I used an example recently where, a client asked me a question and I kind of spin a little bit out of control, retract all the work that I did to create more work for myself when all it is a question. I didn't necessarily need to go down that road. I hadn't done anything wrong. I hadn't done anything incorrect. I didn't need to make some assumptions that sometimes we put on our armor, we put on our defensive armor, thinking that we've made a wrong decision or thinking that we upset the client without getting the clarity that we need to really make the good decision and take the opportunity to respond instead of react.
Definitely. The one thing too, I think I want to take away from the confidence section is that how we say things matters. Mm-hmm. And I got coaching on this super early on in life, and I'm so grateful for it because, there's one thing to say, well, your rates went up. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry, it went up $200 versus we've experienced a market increase. As you know, inflation's at between 8 and 10%. So your policy's actually gone up about that amount. That breaks out to be $16 a month. And because of that, we're recommending that everybody stay exactly where they are. How you say things, your tone, the words that you choose. And, we're big on don't apologize for rate. Just don't do it. Yeah. I screw up enough stuff. I have to apologize for those things, not the thing I can't control. And when you apologize, you admit wrongdoing, and there's nothing wrong. The rate is tied to the market. It is not tied to anything anybody did wrong.
Well, and your client can sniff that out, right? Your client knows when you lack confidence. If I say something confidently, even if it's the wrong thing, if I go with my conviction, they're going to follow me. But if I don't have any conviction and I lack confidence, my client is going to feel that. They sense that. It's all about that energy.
Definitely. And I also think that, as I was giving it live, so you guys were doing it live today on the virtual universe. I'm doing it here in Canada. And just even watching people get permission to be confident. Like, I think that everyone, sometimes we're looking for this permission of, no, they're, especially in a commercial scenario, that business owners come to you as the professional. They're not looking to hear like, well, maybe you might think about this, or would you like me to quote an umbrella, versus looking at your account, you need to have an umbrella and I'm going to quote that for you. Like, there's a difference in dominating and having that conversation. And I think we all have to get much better at directing our clients, because they have hired us because we are the expert. We're the knowledgeable one. They are not that. Just like if I went to the doctor and they're like, well, you might want to do this or you could do this. And I was like, tell me what to do. I don't have a PhD. I need you to tell me where to be and what to do. And I'm here because I think you're the best at it. So tell me what I need to be doing.
Or I'm here because I've already searched WebMD for 3 days.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Let's talk a little bit about what are the symptoms we see of people not being confident. So you can see this on people. And also, one of my tells is, even I'm in a meeting, people are sitting like, and I just say, you know what? No, a confident person is going to sit up and they're going to take notes and they're going to ask questions and they're going to challenge. And a non-confident person is going to kind of slump down and say, I'm just doing the best I can. So that's my tell. How about you guys?
You can actually see this on the street sometimes. People looking down when they're walking, shoulders down. So when you have your shoulders, up. So just having the shoulders down and eye contact is another big one. Some people aren't confident, so they don't connect with eye contact. So I always try when I'm out. COVID changed all that, but now I try to do that more when I'm out. Just eye contact with people and say good morning. I don't even know who they are. And the way we answer the phone. I mean, if we just answer the phone, hey, this is Teresa of Agency Performance Partners, people will answer like that. I mean, I've had people answer or they won't even say their name. And I like to, when I am on the phone, say the person's name. So if somebody answers the phone with the doctor's office they're from and they say their name, I'll say their name back to them. Hi, Jennifer, how are you today? But some people answer the phone without even using their name. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, because wouldn't you want me to know who I'm talking to? So if I call back or we get disconnected, sometimes
I'm hoping I never talk to you again.
Yeah, right. So, you want to make sure that you are saying your name and saying the customer's name as you're having the conversation as well. Because that kind of gives a respect and a feel of confidence that you are confident in who you are because you're giving them your name, and that you're confident in the conversation because you're talking to them using their name as well.
It makes such a difference about interactions with people in general, right? Like, even outside of work or outside of insurance. Like, I have this girlfriend, I won't say her name because she might watch this. I'm not going to say anything bad about her. She just has this confidence. Like, those people that walk into a room and they walk out with 10 friends? There is just that level of, they're making eye contact, they're engaging, they are connecting with people. And they say hello when they walk by somebody. They don't just kind of live in their own little world. We've been watching a lot of Ted Lasso recently. And I noticed that, always trying to make that connection, trying to make that human connection so that people see you and they know you and they're going to trust you.
So true. So I think there may be a little lag time that we have.
I think I'm a little laggy.
That's okay. Between all four of us, there's no such thing as perfect, I suppose, scenario on technology. But, if we kind of take a look and just to wrap it up a little bit and just say, biggest takeaway you want people to know about confidence, then we can kind of tell them a little bit about what we're going to be doing next week.
My personal one is basically that they are the only ones that can help themselves to build the confidence. They have to talk to themselves with positivity. The more negativity they talk to themselves with, the worse it's going to get. So they have to build themselves up. I mean, it's great if we have officers and office managers out there to help basically celebrate the team when they're positive and when positive things happen. But I also want everybody to know that they need to self-reflect and look in the mirror and talk to themselves with positivity.
And I'm going to say that, practice makes perfect, right? I think we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace and understanding that, right? I'm not going to walk out. Look, guys, I'm almost a 50-year-old woman and I have not been able to run a mile almost my entire life. So I'm not going to walk outside and run a mile today, but I'm going to work on it and I'm going to get there and eventually I'll get to a time, but it's going to take time and it's going to take practice. And I have to celebrate those small wins and look at the time that it takes and the time that I'm spending and the changes that it's making in my life and in my body. And I think we need to give ourselves some grace in the workspace too, to understand that confidence is built over time. Just because you're not there today doesn't mean you won't be there tomorrow or in a month or a year. When you look back at where you started, you're going to see those gains.
Yeah, we call that getting the reps in, right? The more you do something, the more comfortable you get, the more confidence you have. I would just tell people that I think how you view yourself matters. So if you don't view yourself as confident, you won't be confident. But if you look at, like, I have a license, I've worked, I have a book of business, I have clients that like me, clients with thank you cards. Like, you have to go find the things that will bring you confidence. And I also want to remind people, I think one of my favorite areas in the whole presentation too is the reaction versus response, right? So if someone's upset, don't live in that 2 minutes where they're reacting to a rate increase, a non-renewal. Don't live there. Live in the next 10 minutes where you build the plan and help them and they say thank you. But we get stuck there and that's what we think about. I also love in the slide, the incumbent always has the upper hand. No matter what, have confidence that as their current agent, you already have the advantage. It's your lead to blow. I would say, you're not going to win them all. So don't get hung up on one. Look at the numbers. I like to say in the background, there's hundreds of policies potentially renewing every week, maybe even thousands, depending on the size of your agency. There's all these people renewing that you don't touch. The couple that you do talk to that might leave are not the truth of the story. You have to use math to your advantage. We had 100 policies up. We lost 10. We had a 90% retention ratio. Don't get stuck on the 10. Why don't we celebrate the 90 people who move forward with us? And I think, the math will tell you the truth, where your feelings will tell you what you want to believe, right? And our brains want to protect us. So we always want to prepare for the worst. So check it out. We will be doing another session tomorrow, which is Thursday. I know this podcast will probably launch Friday, so they'll be gone by the time you hear the podcast. Sorry, guys. But if you rewatch this on Facebook, you can check it out. But next week, we go into it. I think everybody is eagerly anticipating how to have the rate conversation and what to say and how to say. And we're going to give a very clear framework of what to say. And I don't want to give it away, but it's very simple. And I think everybody we outline it to says, oh, I could do that. And you got to practice it. You got to get your reps in. You got to make it flawless. But if you can master the idea of some silence and let people digest and not fill the space with them, I think everybody can benefit from what to say. And it's funny because I actually got an email while we were right before this call with somebody who wanted to get in the Hard Market Hero program, but literally kind of put it up. And then they said that they're just too busy remarketing to take time to be on this. And I was just kind of like giggling just a little bit inside. I think that's the point. And there's recordings and you can check them out and watch them on your own time, watch them at 1.5 speed. And I think that that's just a symptom of the times, right? We're too busy to do the things that might stop us. And I just want to send a message out to everybody. If there's anything that I want from this program, it's for everybody to feel like they have more control. I think for the first quarter this year, we felt very out of control. And as we close out the second quarter, I want people going into feeling like I am a little bit more empowered. I have a clearer picture. I have the tools to do what I need to do. So any thoughts on how you guys feel in regards to next week's sessions?
I am super excited about next week. I was reviewing all of the content and I'm getting pumped up about next week because there is some super usable information, scripts, how to manage that, how to say it, because sometimes that's where people get lost. That's the great thing about the content that they're going to see next week is that it's actionable. They can start implementing those things right away and they have those scripts right at their fingertips. So super exciting.
Yeah, I think it definitely gives them what they need to answer those calls with way more confidence. So not only do they need to talk to themselves in a positive manner, but knowing what to say when those rate conversations come through will help them a great deal. So educating them on how to answer the phone and saying things like, I completely understand. And if I was in your situation, I would do something similar. So just kind of giving them the tools to accept the call, to calm the customer down, and to move forward, answering that question about rate. It's just a question. It's not a demand. It's not an ask for a remarket. It is just a question. So it should lead to conversation and review of current policies.
Preach. So if anybody wants to, they can still get the Hard Market Hero series, and you guys can ask us anything. We'll answer any questions. But thank you, ladies, for hopping on today and doing a little recap. I know this week being Memorial Day is a little off and a little funkified, I like to say, because it feels like it's Wednesday, but it feels like Tuesday, and I'm an hour and a half ahead of East Coast. So I don't even really know where I am right now. I know I have early bird dinner plans in my mind. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. And for all those out there who listen, let us know if there's anything that we can do to answer any questions. But we've been having over 100 people on, and I don't even know it's people because it's agencies, right? Some people are all together. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100 logins. So I think a lot of people are using the conference room. We've had a couple comments are shutting down the agency, or they're doing them in groups. And I think that that's amazing. So I love seeing, I think you guys hit 101 today. Was that right? We had an over 100 moment.
We did.
So, I think that that's huge. And I'm just so grateful. And I just want to show a moment of gratitude to all the agencies who have supported this program, to all the agencies participating, the comments we're getting. I read them every weekend when I get the recap of it all. And it's very touching when you see oh, that's, I'm going to take this, or this was so helpful, or this is the highlight of my week lately. Those are the kinds of things that I look back on and say, that's the kind of impact we all want to leave here. So thank you guys for being a part of that. Thank you all for participating. And we will see you guys on our next podcast.
Look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.